We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey, so make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. Hey, you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure y'all have y'all's teacups ready, honey, because this tea is what? Piping hot, okay? So unless you've been living under a rock, when I tell you Chris Brown right now is currently the #1 trending topic worldwide, and Karrueche Tran is also trending as well. So what's going down is that this morning TMZ got paperwork that basically Karrueche went and she filed a restraining order on Chris Brown, and right now Chris Brown fans, aka the Breezies, they're going into overdrive to protect their Lord and Savior Chris Brown. Meanwhile, the rest of the internet's like, we're not shocked by this behavior, and people are going in on Chris Brown, okay? So this whole situation is a hot damn mess. But once again, honey, Negro Damas strikes again, okay? Because I told y'all back on January 31st, there's a video of Chris Brown. It was posted on social media where basically he's talking about stalking his exes and he refuses to leave them alone, that he's basically a crazy ass nigga. And a lot of people are laughing and kikiing and thought this shit was funny. But when I watched the video, I didn't see anything funny about it. I saw an abusive person and it gave me flashbacks to my ex-husband. And I'm like, y'all, this is not funny. I'm not taking this as a joke. And a lot of people try to come for me, honey. They try to snatch my damn wig off my head, okay? And they're like, T, you're taking it too personal. He's just being funny. That's how Chris Brown plays. He's not abusive. He's not gonna do nothing. Okay, Chris Breezy fans, like I said, I'm a bit older than y'all, so I've been through a lot of shit, and I know damn crazy when I see damn crazy, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys Chris Brown's Snapchat video that went viral on January 31st. Check this out, and I'm gonna come back with the rest of my commentary.
Ladies, y'all ever dealt with a nigga that just be like blowing y'all shit up, hopping gates, stalking the fuck out you, getting on your nerves? Well, shit. I'm one of them niggas. If I love you, bitch, ain't nobody gonna have you. Fuck that. I'm tearing up everything, nigga.
Alright, so you guys just saw the video. So like I said, when I saw that, I didn't see anything funny about it. I didn't find it funny. It really disturbed me and it gave me chills. And it took me back to a place and time when I was in a horrible space in my life. It's a lot of crazy shit when you break it with somebody, especially if you've been in a relationship with them for years and you're finally strong enough to walk away and leave everything. And, you know, they want to have their cake and eat it too. And so everything he was saying in that video to me, I just didn't find funny. But folks laughed and kikied and thought it was a joke. But now today, fast forward a few weeks later, now this is coming out. And let's also not forget that Chris Brown announced his tour recently, that he's getting ready to go out on tour. And now all this information is coming out to the press. So some people are saying that this is a conspiracy. This is only so-called leaking out because they don't want Chris Brown's tour to do well. They don't want him to make money. You know, it's convenient this is now coming out all of a sudden. Other folks are saying that this restraining order is old. It's from a year ago. But from what I researched, this is a new restraining order. It's not from a year ago. She recently filed this because she was saying that Chris Brown basically threatened her, her mother, her brother. And then she said when she was in a relationship with Chris Brown, he punched her in the stomach twice. And then he also pushed her down a flight of stairs. So, you know, the whole situation is crazy. And let's not forget that time when she was coming out of the club and Chris Brown just happened to be there and he had his hands in his lap. Like, if I don't put my hands in my lap, I might punch this bitch on the side of her head. To me personally, I feel like Chris Brown does have anger problems. And, you know, like I said, I would never take anything from his accomplishments. He's a talented dancer, choreographer, songwriter, singer. I would never take that from Chris Brown. But I do feel like a lot of people make excuses for him and his behavior because, one, he's fine, bitch, okay? He's very, very fine, okay? So people make excuses when you're good looking. And then on top of that, he can dance and he knows how to hump the stage like a damn dog in heat, bitch, okay? So because Chris Brown can dance and, you know, do all this extra sexy shit and hump the stage and all that stuff, he's like the modern day Bobby Brown. He's like the modern day version of Bobby Brown, because we all know Bobby Brown used to get down on stage back in like the 90s and shit, okay? So I feel like a lot of people make excuses for Chris Brown because of that. But taking out that aspect, taking out the fact that he's famous, if this was Ray Brown on the block, nobody would be excusing Ray's behavior, okay? If Ray Brown couldn't sing or dance, no one would give a shit. No one would be saying, oh, he's young. People are just hating on him. It's a conspiracy. Chris Brown is damn near 30 years old, and I still hear the excuse that he's young. He was young damn near 7, 8, 9 years ago when he got into that situation with Rihanna. Yes, he was young then, but fast forward damn near 10 years, he's a grown man. He's damn near 30, and I still hear the excuse that he's young. It's funny because when really young kids on the block fuck up, if this was young Ray Ray who was only 19 or 20, folks would be like, he's grown, lock his ass up. Fuck Ray Ray, he ain't shit. But because this dude is famous, I keep hearing the young excuse, and Chris Brown is a grown man, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like domestic violence is not funny. It should not be taken lightly. It should not be taken as a joke. And like one of my Twitter followers told me on Twitter this morning, people seem to like what they can't have. When they have it, they don't appreciate it. And then once they lose it, they go crazy. And that is the truth, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of women need to also realize that when people show you who they really are, you need to believe them. You know, and I know so many times as women, especially when we're young, we feel like we can change people. We feel like the situation will get better. Like I always tell folks, when people show you their true colors, believe them. You cannot change folks, especially when folks are grown. You cannot change people. So either you're going to stay in that situation and deal with it, or you're gonna pack up your bags and move on. You know what I'm saying? But you can't change people. And this whole situation is really sad. And it's really sad that people are literally attacking Karrueche and, you know, saying that she just wants attention and how dare she try and, you know, put Chris Brown on blast. Last time I checked, Karrueche didn't put this out there. TMZ did. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys these tweets, these comments, what folks are saying on social media, honey. Check this out and I'm gonna come back with the rest of my commentary. All right, now y'all just saw the comments, the tweets, and what folks had to say, and you saw a lot of people in those comments defending Chris Brown, making excuses and saying that if you're bashing him, they're gonna unfollow you and all types of crazy stuff. And then you also saw people going at Chris Brown like, you know, I'm not surprised, you know, typical abusive behavior. So the whole situation is crazy, but what's even more crazy is that, all right, so make sure you guys have y'all's teacups once again because this tea is piping hot. So as you guys know, I just posted on social media. I've been getting a bunch of retweets and likes. Karrueche's neighbor, Lucid Dream Queen, she's verified on Twitter, and basically she came out to defend Karrueche because so many females are out here calling her a liar, saying she's seeking attention, F her, how dare she, you know, trying to put Chris Brown on blast. And right now her neighbor is shutting it down, okay? So I'm going to read to you guys what Lucid Dream Queen had to say. So she says, I've never spoken up because I didn't feel it was my place. But hearing y'all saying that she's lying, I just can't sit by and watch this. Some of y'all are so delusional defending that man. It's sick. He will never get help or change because of yes men and weirdos like y'all. I used to cry over that situation, hearing her screaming at the top of her lungs because I am also a victim of domestic violence. Some of y'all make me sick to my stomach. Talking about Karrueche's lying, I've heard him beating her myself. I even called the police. The point is, stop defending these assholes and always blaming the woman. It's sad and sick. And this is why women don't speak out. I even got into it, Chris, because his loud ass used to wake my daughter up and he was rude as fuck. I have known him since he was a kid. I never spoke up because I didn't feel like it was my place, but after hearing this, I just could not sit by and watch this. Women literally get murdered by men who act this way, and y'all think it's cute or she's just wanting attention. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you so much, at Lucid Dream Queen for keeping it 100 and putting it out there and standing up for Karrueche. When I said something about this 3 weeks ago and I said I didn't find this funny, I got chills and I got flashbacks watching Chris Brown in that video. And even hearing what Lucid Dream is saying, it's giving me chills now because I've been in that situation and it's not a joke. It's not funny. Domestic violence is not funny. And, you know, people a lot of times will say, well, you know, that's on the woman. She knew. What did she do wrong? Do you realize that some men just get off on beating women? Some men just get off on treating women like shit and cheating on them. And it doesn't matter how good of a girlfriend or a wife you are to them. Some men are just assholes. Not all men, but some, you know what I'm saying? Hundreds of women have run across these same guys. And let's not forget, you know what I'm saying, men also go through abusive relationships as well. So let's not discount anybody's feelings or emotions. There are men who get beat up on. There are men who have their tires slashed. There are men who get treated like shit, who get berated and talked down to by their women as well. So I say this to say that if you are in an abusive relationship, do not take it as a joke. I've spoken before on YouTube and I've told you guys about how I've had friends who have died from domestic violence, okay? I had a friend whose sister was kicked to death and her liver ended up rupturing and she died at the age of 19. Domestic violence is not okay and it's not a joke, and folks need to stop defending the bullshit. Chris Brown clearly needs help. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his, but I'm not going to sit by and make excuses for somebody just because they can dance, sing, and they know choreography. That's bullshit. He's a human being just like me and just like you, and people need to stop defending nonsense. All right, so you guys heard me read what Lucid Dream Queen had to say. And Lucid Dream Queen, her real name is K. Cola. She goes by K. Cola outside of Instagram. And she's a Grammy-nominated songwriter, artist, producer, and author. I just don't see her putting her career and everything else on the line to lie about Chris Brown. I think she's being very, very genuine when she wrote what she wrote. She also had receipts and told folks to go check out the North Hollywood police station. So, you know, she's been very, very honest in her assessment. So now that her tweets have went viral, Chris Brown is also speaking out. He's addressing his tour situation, the Soulja Boy situation, and he's also talking about the whole Karrueche situation as well. So I want you guys to go ahead and check out Chris Brown and what he had to say. Check this out. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary. All right, so you guys just saw what Chris Brown had to say as well, and he's saying don't believe the hype, that he has nothing to do with that. You know, obviously he feels like there are people behind this trying to make his tour not do so well. That's what a lot of his other fans are saying, but people are taking to his Instagram page, his Twitter, and everything else, and they're still going off on him. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this plays out. But again, people should not be attacking Karrueche, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like she put it out there. Somebody got a hold of the documents and they put it out there. Just like when the whole situation happened with Rihanna. Rihanna didn't put those pictures out there. Somebody else put that out there. So I don't understand why the women are getting blamed. As opposed to checking the perpetrator, people are now demonizing the victims in the situation. I just find that whole situation just sad. He's very, very talented, but I think because he's been in the industry literally since he was about 15, 16 years old, he's not used to hearing the word no. He's used to people just doing whatever he wants them to do, and as soon as he doesn't get his way, he ends up flipping out. And you know, that's just not good for anybody, not for him, not for the people that he's dating. So I just hope that he ends up getting the help that he needs. I hope that he just leaves Karrueche alone, let her do her, and then you do you. You know what I'm saying? If you're with your new girlfriend and she's badder than Karrueche, that's what folks are saying, and she's better than Rihanna and all that other stuff, enjoy your new girlfriend, treat her right, and move on. Let the past be the past. Leave Rihanna alone, leave Karrueche alone, focus on your music, focus on your career, you know what I'm saying, focus on your blessings, and let bygones be bygones, because it's not healthy to hold on to baggage from past relationships because you end up bringing them into new relationships. So anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Let me know your thoughts on this entire crazy situation, honey. Once again, concerning our favorite R&B singer, Chris Brown, Brown and Karrueche Tran trending all over social media because Karrueche filed a restraining order on Chris Brown. Do you believe that Chris Brown really did something to her? Do you feel like she's just looking for attention? Are you team Breezy and you're taking up for Chris Brown? Or do you feel like, you know what, this is Chris Brown's MO, he's a grown man, and folks need to stop making excuses for his behavior? And then last but not least, have you ever been in this type of situation where you might have been in an abusive relationship or you decide to break up with somebody and they stalked you and they harassed you and they try to, you know, slice your tires and do all types of crazy stuff to you because you didn't want to be with them anymore? And let's not forget, this also happens to men. This is not just a female thing. I know guys who were broken up with females and the females went crazy and were breaking out their headlights and, you know, breaking out their windshields and just doing all types of crazy stuff because the man no longer wanted them. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right, deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.